Uh, I'm Randy Fremel, and I'm a local guy. I'm from Hereford. Grew up on a farm out north of Hereford, Texas. Just to prove that you can be an artist and come from the middle of nowhere. I used to draw a lot when I was before kindergarten. I remember drawing all the time. I had a paper and a pencil everywhere I went. I'd draw in the car. My mom probably would tell you that the pencil was my babysitter because she said I could just be in my room for hours drawing and was never any problem for her. But how many of you guys do any drawing outside of your art class? About half of you. Okay. And are you the teacher? Or
Yes.
You're the teacher. Okay. One thing, the main thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is having a mentor. And as when I was a student in junior high and had art class, I had a teacher, and I didn't realize that she was a mentor. And so I want y'all to understand what that is and why it's good and why it's good for you. If you have, right now you have your teacher, Miss
I'm Mrs. Everett. Call Everett.
Everett?
Your
Okay.
favorite
Okay.
Okay.
I won't try that. She's got, do you have an art degree?
Yes.
Yes, okay. She's got all the been there and done that experience that you guys don't have. So whenever she's critiquing your work or finding something that she wants you to fix or anything, if she ever does that, I don't know how much critiquing she does, but she grades your papers, so I know she does some. That is a constructive criticism that's made to develop your talent. And without that, you can't really get anywhere as far as growing as an artist. And the main thing to remember is that you want to keep doing that as you get older. When I was 39, I got my first mentor since I had been out of school. When I was 39, this was 2009, 2010, and Jack Sorensen, who you guys will meet here in a little while, is my mentor. And he was telling me about his mentors first time I talked to him. So I was like, okay, so he's a lot older than me. Or don't tell him I said that. He's older than me, and he's got mentors also. And I already knew that he was a Western artist, very prominent, been painting for 35 years and doing it for a living. And so I just knew right away that that was something he did. And the main thing about it is that learning from someone one-on-one like that can be really fast. And if they have the knowledge like he does, if you're lucky, you can find somebody like him, you can learn a whole lot of stuff over a short period of time that it might have taken you years at school to learn something that I've learned from him in a year. So it's really important. You've also got the fact that you just want to keep learning. You've got, just say for the last few years that I've been around Jack, he's always telling me that from one year to the next, I should be seeing growth. I should be seeing improvements from one year to the next in my work. And when I first heard that, I was like, what are you talking about? Surely I'm not going to be that much better in a year. And he was right, it happened. So, but what I've noticed about him is that he's been painting for a long time. But over the last 4 years that I've been around him, and I see from one year to the next an improvement in his work because I'm going to his house and seeing his stuff. So for somebody that's painted that long to be able to improve, it's because he's remained a student of art. He's never decided that, well, now I'm good, that's it, I don't have to learn anymore. And I think there's a lot of people out there that do that. There's famous people that do that. They get a lot of awards and they get a lot of things early on, and then they don't think that anybody can teach them anymore. And that's not true. You can always keep learning. And me and Jack talk about that all the time. We had a conversation today about how remaining open-minded, being open to critiques, trying different things, and continual growth, and seeing that you're improving from one year to the next. And when you stop seeing that, you know you're not learning. Okay? Hopefully you guys can find somebody I was lucky enough to run across Jack, and that's something that's been a real blessing for me. And the main thing he's been teaching me, since I was already drawing when I was young, by the time I got into junior high, I was a pretty good artist with a pencil. I didn't like colors at all. When I got to high school, I was still pretty good. I didn't take any art classes even. That's how I just thought, well, I don't need to take any art class, because in junior high, I had a teacher that didn't know what to do with me. I was by myself in the corner of the room doing different projects because she didn't think that I would learn anything from what she was teaching the rest of the class. So in high school, I didn't take, and it was really bad for me to not take something in high school, because I could have been entered contests, I could have learned about what school I wanted to go with art. So there's a lot of things you can miss out on when you have that mentality of I can improve. You're at a level right now, and don't think that that's the level you're at forever, because you can always make that into something more. So when I was always drawn with pencil, and I didn't like color. So I finally, in high school, was just playing around with my map colors one time, and I decided to try some color stuff. So I was always drawing little cartoons and just different things all the time. So I kind of broke into that a little bit, experimenting. And then when I got into college, I had to buy some nice color pencils like these, the Prismacolor brand. And when I started using those in college, I started realizing that I could do things in color and not hate it. Because when I used to draw and then I try to paint on top of it, I would ruin something that I really liked already. So is there anybody in here that does not like using colors or painting? Does anybody paint? A couple of you? Is it with oil or watercolor? Or does it matter? Acrylic? Anything? Okay, that's good. You guys will have a head start. Once I got that developed, I started doing portrait type work and different things with color pencil. And this is an example of one of my color pencil pictures here. I'm using the color sticks on this outside part, so they're like this. It's like the inside of a color pencil and a stick. When you use it flat, you can get that texture on there like that, and it really separates the background from the subject. So I got to this level with color pencil and decided that people were calling them paintings sometimes, and so I thought, well, maybe I should just try to paint. Since I'm working with color all the time, I'll try painting. So I moved from there into painting, and I made about 3 or 4 paintings, and I ran into Jack, and then he started teaching me. And then a couple of years ago, he had a workshop that he did where we painted horses from life. So this was out in the sun, out in the heat, summertime, and we had about 2 hours. And there was somebody standing here with a rope holding the horse kind of in one place. He'd still move around because they'll rest one back leg, and then they'll rest the other one. And they kind of take turns. So this one was resting, so I had to wait for him every time to come back to that leg to paint the rest of the picture in. Oil painting's a lot harder, and so I thought that you guys might get more out of a color pencil demonstration. So I've been working on these horses. I started this one last night, and I've been working on them with each group that comes through. So I use this black background. It's just a black mat board, and it's just because it's different and the colors pop out a lot more on the color. I think it's a lot different. There's not a lot of people doing that, but you'll see a few. There's 1 or 2 examples in the gallery here that have horses on a black background. There's just not a background, it's just black. So the images really pop. And what I want to do is I'm going to work on this a little bit and let you guys come up. And I've got some mat board here if you want to try some of my pencils on it just to see what it's like. I started out with an outline of this white horse back here. I'm going to I'm going to draw in this other one that's right behind him a little bit. And then we'll work on some of the colors. Y'all can come up closer if you want, don't be scared. Okay. I'm gonna do some coloring in on this one here. Is anybody here wanting to go into the art field when they get older? Serious full-time artists when you get older? Yeah. There you go. Oh, you didn't hear me? Are you considering being an artist when you grow up? Yeah. Okay. I had a counselor when I was in high school that told me it's probably not a good idea, and that's what my parents told me I was going to do my whole life. So I kind of changed my plans because of what she said, and kind of went a little different route so that I could major in something to get more jobs that was kind of art related, graphic design and stuff. But what I really wanted to do is just major in art and learn how to get better. And so I want you guys to think about that if that's what you want to do, or you feel called to do that, you should pursue it. You shouldn't worry about what other people tell you, unless they're artists. You do want somebody that knows what they're talking about to critique your work. You don't want to have somebody that doesn't know anything. Everybody has an opinion. Sometimes they can be helpful and sometimes they're not. So. The thing about these, they're not regular map colors. They're a little more waxy, and you can add layers. You can put a lot of layers on there. You can go back with white on top of it after you put color on. You can take some back off and put more on. You can put darks back in. So it's a lot different than paint, where you can get a lot of sharp detail because you've got a pencil. There's just a little bit of warm color in that horse. She's mostly white, but he's got kind of a warm white. So I'm going to put some yellow down first, and then I'm going to come back over it with some more white and see if I can't get it close to that color. Nobody wants to draw on my black thing over here.
What?
See what the art sticks too,
They're just the solid.
oh, that's the one that was made about. See, that set that comes with two of those.
Who called? I mean, oh, I didn't get that. Yes. You're right. Thank you.
Okay. It's getting pretty close. Does that look like a horse? Is anybody here a horse expert? Where are you guys
Does
from?
anybody have horses?
Which school are you from? Emerald High? Okay. There was one here this morning, right?
Yes, we had our line classes.
I was thinking that. I stood outside the doors this morning with the Emerald High.
That's right.
When you put some of that, see how I've still got some background showing through there?
Is that important to keep that so you can keep layering once you lose that? Can you still layer or are you done? I mean, is the tooth all filled up with the pigment,
On the,
Prismacolor? Like if you lose all of that, is that the point where you can't layer any more color on top?
yeah, you can get about, after some, I don't know if it's like 5 layers. After a while, you get a certain amount on there and you can't keep adding to it.
Okay.
You can always go on with more black. I think the darks will go on there, but they're not as dark.
We're not blending it.
Blending? I usually use my pencils to blend. I've got a blender here, but it's just for show,
Just for show.
so I can look professional. Just kidding. Yeah, I usually use the pencils to do that, because I'm always layering it on and trying to get that smoothed out. Once you get it smoothed out, then it's a lot more filled in, and that background starts disappearing. It doesn't have that texture look to it anymore. Since he's mostly white on there, it's kind of hard to.
Well, that's what is so interesting to me is I think that's the hardest one to do of all, is the white one.
It's fast compared to painting, and it's a lot quicker. You get a lot quicker results, because like I worked on just the head of this horse and part of his neck and chest last night for probably about 35, 45 minutes.
Do you work
And
on
it's pretty
site
quick.
with Prismacolors?
I'm sorry?
Do you work on site, plein air with Prismacolors? Do you work outside?
Not with Prismacolors. I haven't done that. Since I've started painting with oil, we've done a lot of outdoor stuff. And we paint down in Pelleter Canyon once a month, and it's really a good learning experience each time we do that. There's so much down there, and it's really hard to capture it all. You have to learn what to leave out, and that's really the most important thing, is what to leave out.
Is that a formal group or is that just on, you do that over on?
Yeah, we're the Pelleter Plein Air Painters, and we meet on first Mondays of the month all year. So sometimes it's 9 degrees, sometimes it's in the 20s. Jack brags because he painted in the 9-degree weather. Him and Josh did one day. I tried it in 29 degrees and windy on the rim, and it was really tough. But we've gotten a lot of learning out of that. And I need to try these down there, because I think it probably work.